I would love to be in Derry Girls. That's based on the school that I went to.
Is it?
Yes, I went to the
I
Catholic
think you.
grammar school with the nuns as teachers.
I think you'd be the
Yeah.
tan shop owner. You'd be the salon owner. Hi Hans, welcome to Sing the Pink's new series, Pop Tarts, where we're going to be interviewing your favorite pop stars live on Instagram. So let's welcome Nadine Coyle.
Oh my God! Hello! You look gorgeous. Very sexy. No, no, no.
Babe,
Very.
I'm giving sexy no. You're
Sarah
giving me long hot
Harding.
summer. You're a saint back home. You really are a saint to us. Like, your girl done good. And, everybody was always rooting for you. Like,
Aw.
everyone's so proud of you back home, love. You've done such amazing things. And just like, not only that, but to leave a pop legacy that you have, not only with Girls Aloud, but with you yourself. Like, you've really done that. Honestly,
Thank you.
the amount of questions that have come in is crazy. So we're gonna cast our minds back, and we're just gonna start from the very beginning. It all started with Irish pop stars and the infamous line, "Mammy, where's my passport?"
Mm-hmm.
Now, first of all, I think your audition to Irish Pop Stars was the quickest audition I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, I do think that when you say about it being a really quick audition process, it did feel quick. All of a sudden
Yeah.
you're 1 minute, you're 1 minute auditioning for it, and then the next minute I was in the band. So it all happened really, really fast. So at that time it was kind of just, then it was almost like, okay, this is just how it is. I'd made it so far to the band. People were getting, not making it through every round. I didn't expect to get past any of the rounds. So it was all like, oh, this is great. This is great. This is great. Oh, you're in the band. This is great. Oh, you're not in the band. Oh, okay, right, okay. Okay, better luck next time, okay. And then that was kind of it for me.
Was it worth the wait to get into Pop Stars?
Well, I mean, there wasn't much of a wait, really, because I was 16 when I had done the Irish Pop Stars, and I think I had just turned 17 by the time I get into Girls Aloud.
Oh, no way. So it was really fast. Was that really
It was
fast?
really
like...
And, I was still in school after some of the auditions. I had went back, still was doing school, still babysitting everybody's kids in Derry.
How mental to think that one of your judges from Pop Stars Arrivals was Jerry, and like, you're coming up next year to the 20th anniversary of Girls Aloud, who are almost as iconic as the Spice Girls now, really. Like that's iconic in itself. Whenever you done the process and everything, did you move into a house?
So we had lived together in a house in Surrey. So there was all of the 12 girls. You had, Emma Beard and Javine and, all of these like really nice girls that we all lived together, all 12 of us. Lindsay Shaw, like so many of them who I would still talk to now. So we all lived in a house together. And then when Girls Aloud were formed and you went from 12 to 5, then we were still in the house. I think ITV kind of had a rent agreement, a lease agreement. So we stayed in the big mansion until then the lease agreement ran out.
Yeah.
And ITV were like, show's done now, okay? Get on with your pop star life. Bye.
So Brian Higgins, who is Xenomania, wrote obviously Sound of the Underground and did like most of Girls Aloud, right? It was kind of, when you first heard the strings, like, or that, like, the guitar opening. What was your initial reaction? Were you like?
Yeah, I was like, wow. I didn't see that coming at all. I did not see. You just don't know, and everything. Girl band stuff was all kind of more ballady, and because I would usually do more ballad stuff, I thought, maybe a few ad libs, dramatic stuff, and then we had this kind of rock pop kind of situation.
After Sounds of the Underground hit off, how did that, like, it must have been, because instantly number one, 4 weeks, number one.
4 weeks,
Like, and it was on it's still on radio stations now. What was the relationship between you girls? Because obviously your new girls living together, like trying to have this working relationship in a band. How was your like mental health with all that? Because obviously back then they didn't really give help with that, really, did they?
No, it wasn't really a thing. You know, when you feel bad,
Yeah.
we didn't even, I mean, it's great now that there's words given to things and you can kind of be like, "Oh, I think this is what it is," or I think this is what it is. But, and again, I was 17 and I think the oldest girl was maybe 21 at that time. So we're
Mm-hmm.
all so young. And the overriding thing I remember is just being so exhausted all the time. I mean, just exhausted to the point of you can barely look at your eyes are just like crossing all the time. We all knew that if we done a really late show the night before, then sometimes we would like go in from a show, get showered, change into our clothes for the next day, and then
Yeah.
be picked up maybe 2 or 3 hours later to go on to the next job.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
and we all kind of, it was just us five, and whoever the tour manager was at the time kind of knew that kind of sickly, exhausted
Yeah.
feeling. You're like,
Well, I mean,
oh,
'cause
I'm so
you
tired.
you had a couple of those shows where it showed like the Girls Aloud journey, like on ITV2. You know, on your whenever, especially whenever you went to Australia.
I always wanted to sing. I was like, oh, I just want to be a singer. Wouldn't that be great if I could be a singer? Thought this would
Yeah.
be just amazing. And then once you start doing it, you realize that there's so much, the singing part of it is just
Yeah.
this tiny little small part. And you're doing all of these things. And in those days, there was all the magazines, your Sugar, Pop, Top of the Pops. You had just
FHM, lads, nuts. They're,
everything. Oh my God, this like dream of being a pop star too. You really have to really work hard to keep this going and to get through the workload that's there.
yeah. Who was your idol whenever you were growing up? Like, who did you listen to? Who did you love?
I love Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston. Like I remember where I was when there was the word of them two, Mariah and Whitney doing a duet together. It was like, oh, well, it was like
Yes.
just
Oh my
happening.
God.
Do you remember that?
When you
When
believe?
you believe,
When you believe.
and there are
Oh my
harmonies
God.
and just
Literally,
like
when you believe.
when you believe. I couldn't believe it. So there's so many people
Oh,
that
babes, it's
we've
crazy.
grown
Like,
up together, that were fans, that are now
it's,
friends, that are like,
yeah.
it's just such a nice community.
As a massive pop fan myself, like, and I actually started in Belfast. Tangled Up tour.
Yes.
It was opening night was Belfast, and you've done
Right.
like two or three nights. I will never forget the feeling of sitting in that arena.
That tour was because of the way that we were lit. The audience, we were
Yeah.
backlit.
Yes.
So for the first time ever, the entire audience is lit up and there's just our silhouettes.
That's
And
right.
we're in darkness. You can't see
Yeah.
our faces. You can't see, but we could see all of your faces. It was amazing. And you could feel that. So when you
Yeah.
can see, because people don't know, especially on
No,
the
the
first
feeling
night,
of that.
and the curtain drop, and we could see, like I remember being able to see everybody's faces, and you'd be like, oh, because no one knew, as you say, there was no Instagrams, there was really no
Yeah.
spoilers. They were able to get around to people really quickly, so people were shocked every night. I mean, I loved all the tours.
Yeah.
That was, as you say, one of the best openings of being able to see the whole crowd and look into everybody's faces.
After all this total segue, you moved to LA. Were you just a bit bored of London life and smog and hog? Like,
Smog. The LA is far worse for the smog.
did you want to be an actress? Is that why you wanted to move?
It was Brian Higgins that actually I had went out there to do some recording with Brian. It was kind of around, I was young, and I remember being out in the car with Brian. I left my mobile phone in a taxi. I was too busy looking around me at the Hollywood Hills, like, look at this. And so then Brian had to take me to get a new phone. And I remember driving down La Cienega and Brian's like chatting away and chatting. And I was like, do you know what, Brian? And Brian told me this like years later. I was like, do you know what? I'm going to move here, but I'm not only going to move, I'm going to move my whole family here. And Brian said I looked really intense, like staring out the window really intensely. And he thought,
Yeah.
he thought, okay, right, okay. God, she seems really serious about this. Then eventually they said, okay, we'll give it a go. We'll try it out. We'll give it a go. You know, what have we got to lose? The plan was to move and open the bar. That was an opportunity for us all to be able to work, because you can't just wander around the America and be like, I'm going to move here. You know, there's obviously
Yeah.
you have to have a reason to be there.
Yeah.
So our reason to be there long term was we owned the bar restaurant.
Who came up with the name? Who came up with the Nadine's Irish Mist?
Not me. And I couldn't believe it. I knew they had.
If that was me, I would be claiming that. That's
They
great
had.
name.
Well, it was called the Irish Mist before. People would come onto the bar and be like, "Hey, who's this Nadine? Who is this person?" And I'd be like, "I don't know. Who is it? Like, maybe it's her,
So you
maybe it's
actually were
him."
serving behind the bar?
I would serve behind the bar because on Christmas Day we would close the bar so it wasn't opened to the public. But then we would have we would cook a big dinner in the restaurant. I would cook. And then we would have our staff or people that didn't have their families around would all come onto the bar on
Yeah.
Christmas Day. And so occasionally I've made a drink
Oh.
then. People would be like, can I have this? And I'm like, what is that? What would I put in that? What would it be? I like a rosé. I like a
Just a
nice.
rosé all day.
I'm a rosé all day kind of gal. Or I like tequila.
What's your favorite ever Girls Aloud single, babe? Or not, actually, scrap that. Girls Aloud song. Doesn't have to be a single.
I love, so there's ones that a lot of them I could just listen to anytime they're on. I'm like, I can listen to it. But I love performing live. I love something new. You know,
Yes.
they go girl, go, 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 go.
Yes,
And the
so
minute
good.
that starts, and it sounded they all go down so well. But you get you get so many amazing reactions with just when the Brian Higgins songs that just come in just
They
non-stop. You just need to.
My personal favorite is Graffiti My Soul. Spike heels and skin tight jeans and gonna fistful of love coming your way, baby.
Yeah.
You know what? You get all the iconic lines.
Whenever you're gone, they wait at the door.
There is only several Brit performances that go down on sensational history. And The Promise, when you've done that, was so, oh my God, it was just so, it's everything that you want to be and everything we wanted from Girls Aloud.
We would learn, if we were doing a tour, we would learn one song, one routine a day. Like you would learn, and then you would come in the next day and you'd be on to 2 routines, 3. So you'd do that the whole way until you're doing, 20, and then you start, putting them together. So we had to get really quick at picking up routines and picking up stuff. And
we've got some questions from fans coming in.
Woo-hoo!
All right. Okay. There was talk of you being in Derry Girls on TV. Do you think it's going to happen?
I love the series of Girls Aloud. I was going to say, I love Derry Girls. It's really, really good. And Nicola,
it's so good.
She always keeps saying she's used my accent watching videos to try to get. So every time I'm watching her, I'm like, yes. How is she with that accent there? How is she getting on? So I would basically, yes, I would love to be in Derry Girls. That's based on the school that I went to.
Is it?
Yes. I went to the Catholic grammar school with the nuns as teachers.
I think you'd be the tan shop owner. You'd be the salon owner. How important is your gay icon status?
I think it's amazing. I really, really do. I feel like from I had first began, or from, the career as the band, we were just so embraced.
Before the pandemic, you were literally at every Pride. Sing the Pink was that. You were there, like, standing loud, standing proud. You're always there,
Absolutely. And why would I not be? Like, I see that as us just being there, having fun, like, telling the world, like, we're just here having fun, like, doing, everybody's allowed to be happy, and it makes me happy, and I don't think about it in any kind of, like, we're having a good time.
If you had to sing only 3 songs for the rest of your life, what would they be? My little girl made up a song about loving you more than anything. She made it up herself, so I would sing that.
which is the Love You More Than Anything song.
Fields of Gold have to be in there.
Okay, we'll put on Fields of Gold because that was a big song. That was like a changing song.
So your daughter's song, Fields of Gold, and I think that's the Sound of the Underground. It has to be Sound of the Underground. That's
okay. You Sound of the Underground, absolutely.
I think
Let's
so.
do
I
that.
mean, when you sing it, like it's everyone's in there for you. What's been your biggest life achievement so far, and why? It's a very deep question.
The biggest life achievement is difficult because obviously I have a daughter.
Yes.
She's healthy and doing great, and she's doing brilliant. So in terms of everything, that is absolutely my biggest achievement. But I feel like just getting through the day is an achievement. Like it really, really is. And I often wonder, the question is it easier now or is it harder now to try to kind of have an overall view on, the differences in which way, in which time was it harder or easier to be a new artist coming through?
Now that you're a solo artist, do you feel like you have more control of the reins in what you want to do?
I mean, it's difficult to know. I didn't have hold of the reins whenever Girls Aloud first began. I thought it was like collaborative, and Brian's brilliant. So there was, and I agreed with every song choice, and we would talk about it on the studio, and Universal were really supportive, and I do genuinely believe that we got really lucky with the team of people that we had, that it was able to be collaborative, and it wasn't, because it's difficult for men in their 30s or 40s to relate to girls in their late teens, early 20s. So it's easier for it to be led by us. It's kind of, they would come and they would have to ask for our advice in order for it to be genuine. Like the most important thing, and why I believe Girls Aloud done so well, because it was genuine.
Like to go from the Promise, then the Loving Kind. But so was it Pet Shop Boys that wrote that, or did Nicola write it with the Pet Shop Boys?
It was the Pet Shop Boys. There was
Pet Shop Boys. How iconic to work with the Pet Shop Boys.
Well, we didn't see the Pet Shop Boys. It was that song was sent to Brian, and then we recorded it in Brian's studio, and I preferred the Promise.
Nadine, we're almost out of time, love. It's
okay, and I'm almost out of battery. I thought if we go...
Well, I tell you something. The one thing I do want to ask you before we get cut off is what's next for Nadine Coyle? Are we going to get new music? I know there's new music being made with Brian. It's been teased to us.
There's definitely music coming. I'm very and hopefully you like it. Hopefully you like it. That's it.
And listen, one very last thing before we go. Are we going to get a 20 years anniversary of Girls Aloud tour? Are we going to get something special happening at least?
I would love to be like, yes, that is, this is what we're doing. At the minute, it's very much thinking about Sarah, very much kind of being there for Sarah. It's,
of course,
it's a really unfortunate time for her. And I mean, the whole thing is like, come on, just because then that could be the priority, talking about should we do a tour, should we do something, and instead it's we're worried about Sarah, so
of course
we're just
that's
focus on everything. That is the main priority.
There's a year to go because it's 2022 is the don't age them yet, love.
Exactly.
It's next year, not this year. I missed you. I can't wait to be able to get to see you again at our next gig, and we can actually embrace it.
I know. It's going to be so great.
You are honestly one of Sink the Pink's iconic pop stars. You are an iconic pop star. Thank you so much for all the music that you've given to us over the years. We honestly, like the fans, couldn't beat the messages that I've got. The love is just beyond for you. And coming from me to you, from a Northern Irish girl to a Northern Irish girl, love.
Oh, thank you so much, and thank you all for the support. I would not be here with this hair if it wasn't for all of you right now. Thank you.
Nadine, we absolutely love you.
Love all of you and your messages.
Stay safe. We love you so much. Bye. Bye.